mean woman make me a fool.
All right, let's get this out of the way. Raymond's talking about it. Cap was trying to get me irritated about it before we went live. The Wolves handedly beat the Nuggets throughout the series. Yes, it went to a Game 7. Cap, I will take you out for saying that we choked because they beat the shit out of us in 3 separate games. If you think that's a choke, then the Raiders in 2000 were atrociously choked.
97% of teams in the NBA playoffs with a 20-point or more lead at halftime win the game.
Yes.
You guys
this
can choke
team
this series. You should have beaten Minnesota handily.
Cap.
You allowed yourselves
Cap.
to get embarrassed, booty spanked.
You are a man of statistics. You are a man of logic. So
yes, I am.
For a second and listen to these numbers.
All righty.
Game 1 and Game 2 in Ball Center in Denver. The Wolves handed us our ass by 50 points combined over those 2 games. And
whose
then
fault is that?
The Nuggets. And it's also on the fact that the Wolves were hella aggressive, like they were the entire series, minus 3 games. They were the better team 4 out of 7 games. That's not a choke. That is a team showing a weakness in another team. I wouldn't say we choked. I would say that we did good for a team that never been to an NBA championship before, winning our first one.
I'm going to laugh my ass off when the Mavs sweep the Wolves.
Now, that would be hilarious. That would genuinely be hilarious. I don't see it happening, but Luka and Kyrie are also the next incarnation of Kyrie and LeBron.
Or if somehow the Mavs just who I have no faith in the Mavericks and none in Minnesota. But if Minnesota just gets their ass handed to them by Dallas, I'm going to be laughing even more at Denver.
It doesn't matter. Whoever wins this series has to survive the Celtics. Because there's
the only team that even had a shot at beating Boston was Denver.
No.
Boston has this thing sewn up now.
Minnesota and Dallas both have a good chance. They both have very incredibly talented teams. I wouldn't say a choke artist. How many times has he won MVP? And doesn't need to be on the Olympics for his country. He probably doesn't want to be on the Olympics for his country. He wants to race his horses.
I'm sure he'd rather be playing in the Western Conference Finals. But
I mean, he probably would. But again, Joker even went out and said on press conference last night.
Can we, after this choke, can we stop calling him Joker and start calling him Jock Itch? Because that's pretty much...
Again, 3 MVPs, Cap, you're talking out of your ass.
I remember I was keeping up with the game on Sunday night. Denver was rolling. They had the thing. It was over. It's done.
We had the thing. We only lost by 8 points. We also gave up a 20-point lead at half. Again, this Wolves team
only gave up a 20-point lead at half. Oh, come on, man.
Look,
only gave up 20 points.
I watched the Broncos lose by 50 points this season. Nothing is worse than watching that. So I think winning a championship and then losing in the semis is a pretty good season.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's a good season. Do you have a basketball team? Do you follow basketball?
Fuck no.
Then keep quiet about it.
You guys won the NBA championship last year, swept in the finals, if I remember correctly.
After sweeping the Lakers.
Swept the Lakers, swept the finals.
No. The Nuggets were like the Broncos for a long time. And then the Broncos became like the Nuggets for a long time. In the last 10 years, Denver at least has 3 championships. In hockey, basketball, and football. We barely make that 10-year mark for football.
He's no longer, in my book, he's no longer Joker. He's now Jokic or Chokic or whatever.
You are really talking out of your ass for someone who doesn't watch basketball.
You mentioned statistics. In the playoffs,
across the
20-point lead at halftime, 97% of the teams win.
You are talking about one stat as opposed to Joker having triple doubles consecutive for the entirety of the playoffs.
And yet you couldn't overcome a little tiny ant.
No, it wasn't a little tiny ant. This ant was on steroids. Have you seen Anthony Edwards? That is 6'6", 250 pounds. That gentleman moves.
Joker's like 7 feet tall.
7 foot tall, 250. He runs around like Great Khali with mobility.
Why doesn't he just backhand the little bastard?
Because he's not Draymond Green. Hey, he's saying the Broncos and the Raiders will choke. We will. We can't choke if we like it.
Well, there's a different. Choking is what happens when you're supposed to win and you don't. Being just piss poor is when you lose, when you have even a minor little shot, maybe at winning. Just a little bitty shot, like, okay, maybe, just maybe, if all they got, and you lose by 20.
A choke, a good choke, is exactly what we saw in the NFL championship games last year with both the Ravens and the Lions. I don't know if you can call the Lions a choke near as much as Dan Campbell getting in the way of progression, but
the Ravens, I wouldn't call what the Ravens did necessarily a choke. I would call it.
I will say, and this is a legitimate thing that a lot of the big heads that are NBA media, they are trying to say that Anthony Edwards is going to be the next MJ, the next LeBron. Please,
there never was an MJ before. There will never be an MJ again.
Please fucking stop giving these titles to these young kids they're just going to hurt themselves trying to make expectations. It happened to Derrick Rose.
I'm not trying to say anything bad about Mr. Ant, but let's
MJ, LeBron, even Kobe. I've heard people say next Kobe. Please stop putting these titles on these young kids. Let them.
So you win 6 rings. Was it Jordan? What won 6 rings in 7 years, or 6 rings in 8 years, something like that?
I want to say it was 6 in 8.
And he was also Defensive Player of the Year, top scorer, and won those rings
5 times, I believe. Hold on. Let me pull up Jordan's statography real quick.
You're not going to get another Jordan. It ain't going to happen.
Now, can we totally see Anthony Edwards excel and become the first big Anthony Edwards? Completely. He can totally outshine his own star. But to call them MJ, LeBron, Kobe, like, remember Ben Simmons? Remember when they first brought him in from Australia? And they were like, this kid's the next LeBron. He's 6'10". He can pass. He can shoot. He's got court vision. He's out of the league now.
The sports media is always going to be hunting for
the next
something to write home about. And when in most instances, they don't have jack fuck shit to write.
Okay, Cap, I do have stats.
Oh, you have stats?
Michael Jordan is a 6-time NBA championship. 91, 92, 93, 96, 97, 98. So yes, 6 titles in 8 years. He was NBA Finals MVP all 6 of those years. 5-time NBA MVP. 14-time All-Star. 3-time All-Star MVP. 10-time All-NBA first team. A 1-time All-NBA second team, and that was his rookie season. All-NBA defensive first team 9 times. Rookie of the year. Rookie first team. He won Defensive Player of the Year in 88. Yeah. He's also got 3-time steals leader. How the fuck do you do that?
You be awesome, as he was.
Dude, he is so notarized that not only did Chicago retire his number, but Miami retired the number 23 in his honor as well. That's why LeBron didn't wear 23 in Miami. Like Donovan Mitchell, it wouldn't be the first time a Cleveland player went to LA. And again, you guys hiring JJ Redick as your next head coach might be one of the worst things that could happen to the Lakers.
I have yet to hear one single fuck positive thing about JJ Redick being hired.
So you want me to tell you the absolute epitome of JJ Redick?
Yep.
If he was in the corner and he was open, he's hitting a three. That's about it.
Yep.
He was a white guy that played basketball.
And which unfortunately happens to a lot of white guys. Unless your name's Larry Bird, typically white guys can't jump. Just ask Woody Harrelson.
Now, again, JJ Redick, he's a good shooter. But at no point in his career did I look at how he played the game and went, this guy's got court IQ. This guy's able to dissect a defense and get a play going. He played on the same team with Chris Paul, and Chris Paul was the one doing that shit for him.
So moving on to the conference finals, Pacers and Celtics begins
I think they
about an hour and 15 minutes. How long do you think it takes the Celtics to close this thing out?
I will
5
be
games.
very impressed. I will be very impressed with the Pacers team if they don't get swept. If they push it to 5 or 6, the Pacers can say this was a successful season because I don't think anybody expects them to do anything against Boston.
I'm not expecting anybody to do anything again. I thought if it wound up being Denver and Boston, it would go 6 or 7. Denver would they would be the one team that could defeat them. Gronk sees a lot of things, Ray. Most of them hallucinations due to intense overindulgence in alcohol and potentially other substance.
Yeah, okay. CTE, drugs, and alcohol usually aren't a good cocktail. And they just put Gronkowski out on TV almost every week. It would be like handing Mike Tyson an open microphone every week.
Well, certain networks have tried that in certain avenues, and they have been disappointed. In each
I can say, if you haven't listened to it, Mike Tyson had a YouTube interview series called The Hot Box.
Yeah.
That was a really fun series, but it was Mike Tyson interviewing people. It wasn't necessarily Mike Tyson trying to carry a podcast.
Mike Tyson, for people who
didn't... Has that happened yet, by the way? Him versus Paul?
No, it's in June.
Okay.
June or July. For people who didn't grow up in the Tyson era of boxing, Mike Tyson was the closest thing we had seen since George Foreman, in George Foreman's prime in the 70s.
In terms of talent, absolutely.
Well, not just in terms of, not even in talent, because Tyson could move a lot. George Foreman just literally beat the living shit out of people. He literally hit so hard, he just beat the living hell out of human beings and got paid handsomely to do it.
He got paid handsomely to do something else, according to Hulk Hogan, for not answering his own phone.
God damn it.
We also have to get to that because he's told a lot of new lies in one of his recent interviews.
New lies?
Bro.
I just saw that YouTube put up Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie True Lies for free on YouTube. Now we have Hogan's New Lies. Oh Christ, that's going to be too good.
No.
Let's save that one. What I was trying to make is as far as it's pure, like Ali was an artist. Joe Frazier was just a tough son of a bitch. Larry Holmes was a scientist. George
Larry
Foreman
Holmes was
and Mike
precise.
Tyson just beat the living shit out of people.
You can keep blocking.
Tyson,
I'm gonna break your wrist one of these punches.
yeah, they just beat the living shit out of people. And Tyson in his era would like say 88, 89 until call it 95, 96, somewhere in that 7, 8 year span minus the time he spent in jail for.
Yeah, I was about to say, when was
crime.
the Buster Douglas fight? I thought that was 93.
That was 93 or 94. He went to jail
Shortly after.
94, like tail end of 94. He got released in March of 95. But
Reminder, everybody, I wasn't alive at this point in time.
I was. Tyson was the baddest motherfucker on the planet. Mike Tyson, no one wanted to get in the ring with him. Buster Douglas was such an underdog. The Vegas books took it off their books. Like they took it off. Then he lost to Holyfield in a 12-round decision in the winter of 1996, I believe. Winter of 96, he lost to Holyfield. Then they had the rematch summer of 97, and that was when you got the whole ear biting.
So, Cap, you just
let's talk about Evander Ray.
You just brought up the fact that many of the Vegas betting odds or Vegas shut down their opportunities to bet on it, except for one casino, the Mirage in Las Vegas, which had Buster Douglas as a 42-1 underdog to Tyson.
Yep.
To those who don't know,
it varied anywhere from 40 to 50, even more. I think once it hit 45 or 50, most of the books took it off.
Just so y'all know, if you were to throw $5 down on that bet, you would have walked away with $210.
Yeah. Tyson was never the same after he lost to Holyfield the first time. He had some good fights afterwards, but once he lost to Holyfield that first time in a 12-round decision, he was never the same again.
So you being from that earlier era of boxing, who was your favorite non-heavyweight to watch?
Oh, De La Hoya.
Fuck yes. You see, De La Hoya, believe it or not, we actually have family ties to Oscar De La Hoya.
Well, you're Hispanic. I mean, all the Hispanics are related and somehow going all the way back.
I didn't think we would be related to De La Hoya, but yeah, no, there's that. I'll also give a shout out to someone that I was able to watch in my youth, Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins. Those two were very fun to watch.
Also, Lennox Lewis, British.
Felix Trinidad.
Felix
Lennox
Trinidad.
Lewis and Felix Trinidad had an incredible fight.
Yeah. The 90s were the last great run for boxing. There's been some good fighters.
You could say like early 2000 to about 06. I'd like to say 06. I want to say is like the end of like the great fighters.
Yeah, I mean, because Lennox Lewis continued to box, and then you had was it Klitschkov?
I think it's Klitschkov or
Klitschkov. Yeah. Vladimir. Yeah. Well, see, if anyone if you're a boxing fan, go on YouTube and just watch shit loads of interviews of Bert Sugar, who is the greatest boxing journalist of all time, and he made a point.
You keep going. I'm trying to find the YouTube channel.
Bert Sugar made the point that during the era, historically in boxing, when heavyweights are down, it's the lower weight classes that keep boxing alive. And we've gotten that the last 15, 20 years with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. But, pure heavyweights, we haven't had that in a while. In the 40s, you had Joe Louis, you had Marciano, then Frazier and Ali came along, and Foreman and Holmes, Frazier,
Tommy
and then
Morrison as
Tyson.
well.
Morrison never got to those heights.
He was up there. So the YouTube channel that I was going to bring up is Joseph Vincent. He does a lot of long form documentaries on just athletes as a whole, but he has an entire series on boxers and UFC fighters. So
Okay.
if you haven't had a chance, go watch those, because there's a lot of great history in those other documentaries and snippets from other journalists. I'm pretty sure the one that you mentioned earlier,
Burt Sugar.
Yeah, his voice is in.
He was the editor-in-chief of Ring Magazine for like 40 years.
But Joseph Vincent on YouTube. Go give his videos a watch. I have spent many hours just listening to his documentary videos.
And I love box. Let me rephrase this. I love good boxing.
We just like good sports. We like it when sports are good.
The last boxing match I watched was Mayweather and Conor McGregor.
That's the exact same last boxing match I watched.
And I remember I was sitting at Buster's bar in Fayetteville watching that on my phone with our singer in the band at the time. And I literally
really does date the fight, doesn't it?
And I literally was saying that whole time, like, this is such a fucking sham. Like, the referees are doing every fucking thing they possibly can to protect both these guys. This is not a fight.
Here's the thing, and that even went into the final sequence of the fight, because McGregor was defending himself. Yeah, he had his hands down a little bit, but he was still defending himself from Mayweather's attacks. They called that fight way too early when McGregor still had a little bit left in the tank.
I literally, sometimes, I think I actually even said that night to my friends, I was like, I think Dana White slipped the referee a great deal of money and said the minute it looks like McGregor
looks weak,
appears like he's not going to look strong, call the fight, save my cash cow.
And then McGregor didn't even really do anything in the UFC after that.
Dana White is the bald Don King. Let's just call a spade here. Dana White is the bald Don King of our generation. Don King ruled boxing in the 90s and the 2000s. Dana White has ruled fighting in the first quarter of the century.
And he's
just a bald Don King.
A little bit more. He's arguably got more scandals against him than Don King did too.
If you're shadier than Don King, there's some shit going on there.
Well, I feel like there's a step above Don King shady, and I think that's the McMahon tier.
The Vincent K tier.
Yeah, the BKM tier.
The BKM tier. What you like with American Express credit cards, like where there's like certain levels of credit you get, like there's the VKM card, which basically you just hand over and that gets your ass out on everything.
But let's get back to the playoff basketball. Pacers
Celtics tonight.
Pacers, they stand maybe the most daunting task maybe any team has seen in NBA playoffs. Other than like going back in history and being the team to go against Jordan's Bulls or Kobe and Shaq, this has to be one of the most daunting tasks for any team.
It's daunting, but I remember watching the 97 and 98 finals of the Jazz. It was the Jazz versus Bulls back-to-back years. And that Jazz team, they were fucking good. They were a damn good team.
And another team full of Hall of Famers and legends too.
Yeah, but as great as that Jazz team was in that run, Jordan, Pippen, Rodman, it's just like
Coach, I think, was on the team at that time.
And Phil Jackson coaching. I mean, your hands are kind of tied. I mean, no matter how good you are, you're not going to beat those three.
Hell, even in the last 20 years, it's like going up against the Golden State Warriors or seeing the Miami Heat with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh going up against you. You're sitting there going, well, we might as well throw money on us to lose.
My only worry about Boston is this. The Eastern Conference is not nearly as competitive as the Western Conference. And Boston has been average at home. And by average, I mean average. They've been 500 at home the last 3 years. So my worry is that I think they get past Indiana in 5 to 6 games. But depending upon who comes out of the West, whether it's Dallas or Minnesota, they could maybe push Boston a little bit more than Boston's used to being pushed. I would still, if Boston clears Indiana, which I believe they will, I still think Boston would be the favorite. But I think they may get pushed a bit more than they're used to being pushed.
And it's understated. Like this Pacers team, the thing about all 4 of these teams in the playoffs, minus Kyrie Irving on the Mavericks, they are all young squads. Like, they are all very youthful teams. Like, these are 4 teams that we can see in the playoffs for years to come.
Well,
Same thing with the Oklahoma City Thunder as well.
I still don't feel that the Pacers beat the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks beat the Knicks. The Knicks were so injured, so beat up, so banged to shit. And we'll see once this Boston series unfolds just exactly what the situation is, as Cotton Hill would say. But see, that's why I'm not sold on the Pacers, because I really like the Knicks this year, but they were so beat up and so banged up. It's like they were playing with one arm tied behind their back, and one arm in the or one leg in the infirmary.
And another thing about that Knicks team is, if they would have bested the Pacers, they would have went into going against Boston hurt
and gotten sweet. And they would have gotten cream.
So they might have gotten Josh Hart back during that series, but Josh Hart and Brunson is not enough to beat the whole team.
Pacers Celtics will be a better series than Knicks and Celtics would have been. Or pardon me. Knicks Celtics would not be as good a series as Pacers Celtics will be. But maybe it works out better for New York that they see what they've got. They've built something. The Knicks have turned a curve. They've changed from just being the Knicks to the Knicks. Like, they're getting back to being the Knicks again.
The Knicks were the Mets of the NBA for a long time.
The bad version of the Mets, if that's even possible.
The only enjoyable thing about a Knicks game was seeing Spike Lee on the sidelines in his hats.
The nicking and the metting were very tied to one another.
And now it's metting and netting. Because the Mets are in Brooklyn too.
Yeah. The lowly Brooklyn. Well, Brooklyn. See, I kind of give Brooklyn a pass on that, because Brooklyn did not actually become a part of New York City until the 1960s. I think it was sometime in the 60s. Brooklyn was its own independent borough. Like you had Queens, you had Manhattan,
Bronx.
The Bronx. Brooklyn was its own independent. It didn't officially join New York City until like the 60s, maybe the 70s. They were their own independent thing. So Brooklyn, I give a little bit of a pass to, because if you ask native Brooklyners, if I'm getting that correctly, Brooklyn doesn't feel like Brooklyners. Yeah, Brooklyn, they're New York, but they're not New York City. They're it's kind of like Texas in the United States. Like, Texas still feels like it's its own country because it was an independent nation for a long time. Brooklyn kind of feels that way about New York. Like, we're not New York, we're Brooklyn.
And so I think we both agree Celtics are going to clear the Pacers 5 games max. Or will you give the Pacers at least 2 wins?
It won't go more than 6.
So Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6.
All right.
Minnesota, Dallas.
I say Minnesota in 6.
You think Minnesota in 6?
I say Wolves in 6. Because Dallas is not going down without a fight. But Minnesota isn't going down without a fight. This is going to be a very fun series to watch.
Do you think Minnesota may have blown their load on beating Denver?
Trying to beat Denver?
And they're going to come out.
You see how much they exerted? They were pushing themselves against Denver.
Do you think it's a situation where they may have blown their load and it's like, okay, we beat Denver. That was our NBA championship.
Like Denver beating Kansas City last year. My Super Bowl happened week 10. I don't know about y'all. But no, Minnesota very easily could have overexerted themselves. They're kind of banged up too. But
you do not come out of a 7-game series without being a little banged up.
Yeah, no.
That's why you want to get. That's why you want to get series over and done with quick to get the rest. That's why teams don't like playing 7 games. They don't like playing 6 games. They want it done in 4 or 5.
I say it's going to be Minnesota, Boston in the finals. Minnesota might put up a fight against Boston. Might. Because Boston's biggest enemy here is Boston, and they were their biggest enemies last year.
Boston's weakness is Boston.
It always has been.
Which I'm still. I know I've probably asked you this a time or two, but refresh my memory. Why are you a Red Sox fan and not a Celtics fan?
Oh, I am a Celtics fan. Celtics are my secondary basketball team.
So either way, here you get something to cheer for.
If it was a Denver Boston championship, I would have been ecstatic. That would have been awesome for me.
Because either way, you don't lose.
The last time I had gotten something like that was 2007. Unfortunately, the Rockies got shit rocked by the Red Sox, but I digress.
Oh man,
it was a fun World Series to see Boston and Colorado in the World Series. Also, I don't think the Rockies have ever been to a World Series before or after that. They've definitely not been after, but they've been around since '93. Yeah, I think that was their first and only World Series appearance.
I would say, looking at things right now, the odds of you getting another Boston-Colorado World Series, I'm going to put that down somewhere around the 0.
Yeah. You've got the 5-tier list, strongly agree, somewhat, disagree, strongly disagree. If there is an abysmal disagree, that is where that would be. Again,
I call that the "fuck you, I'm out" category.
Fuck this!
Ain't happening. While we're at it, we got to the NBA. Let's look at the Stanley Cup because
the Dallas Stars kicked the Avs out. By the way, and again, happy to see the Dallas Stars doing something.
So we're down to the Final 4 in the NHL, and starting tomorrow night, we have Panthers and the Rangers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And then in the Western Conference, the Stars and the one remaining Canadian team who will never shut up about it, the Edmonton Oilers. Edmonton wants this. Edmonton wants this so bad because they have been suckling the teat of their 80s teams for the last 40 fucking years. Maddie, I'm not sure what your personal record is for suckling on a teat, but whatever it is not what the Edmonton Oilers have been because they haven't done shit in forever, but they still have that 80s dynasty that they cling to. They want and need this fucking bad.
Wait. So what you're meaning to tell me is the Oilers are the Dallas Cowboys of the NHL, holding on to those championships.
In a lot of ways, yes, because the 49ers who ruled the 80s, they've gotten back to Super Bowl since. The Cowboys haven't gotten past the divisional round since 1998. So the Edmonton Oilers and the Dallas Cowboys, yeah, a lot of, what's the sign for the infinity? It's like an 8 turned sideways.
Yeah.
Oilers,
also known as the Ouroboros.
Yeah, Oilers Cowboys, a lot of similarities there. Again, I'm not a hockey follower.
Neither of us really are, but with those 4 teams being in there, I would.
Well, it's also like I would love to see a Canadian hoist Lord Stanley for the first time in forever. My God, does it have to be the goddamn Oilers? I honestly, if I had to pick, I know my boyhood, I cheered for the Dallas Stars, but that was a very brief period of my childhood. Honestly, the New York Rangers,
What a team back then as well. Like even into the early 2000s.
Madonna and Hull, holy fuck. Yeah, Madonna and Hull, fuck yeah.
Did Hull play into like the 2010s, like early 2010s? Because he was playing on that Dallas Stars whenever I first started watching.
Mark of that team was the playoff series against the New Jersey Devils. I think it was 2001. It was 7 games, but
I want to say that was 2002 because I think they were. I think Dallas was on the cover of NHL, NHL's EA Sports game that year.
Well, it went 7 games, but Game 6 went into triple overtime.
I wish the Ducks were good, Raymond. I've always been a Mighty Ducks fan.
Quack, 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 quack.
Also, their rebrand in the is the worst thing to happen.
Gordon Bombay has been coaching the Anaheim Mighty Ducks now for going on 45 years, I'm guessing. Still has not
never gotten rid of the head coach.
It's Gordon Bombay. It's still Emilio Estevez played him in a couple of movies. They did like these documentaries about the Anaheim Ducks called The Mighty Ducks. They had Emilio Estevez playing Gordon Bombay. They had a few other notable actors in there. It's like, is Gordon Bombay ever going to get his ring? I don't know if it's going to happen.
Didn't the Angels win a championship after the movie Angels in the Outfield happened?
Angels in the Outfield was like 92, 93. The Angels won it in like 2007, 2008, something like that.
I could have swore they had one in the 90s as well, though.
No. It was like, the 90s were the Yankees. Braves and Yankees. Well, Braves won one.
You're right.
The rest of them. I think the Angels won it. It was like 06, 07, 08, somewhere in and around there. But no, the Angels in the Outfield, that was like 92, 93, 94, somewhere.
Wait, so Trout's got a ring?
No, Trout didn't. Trout's rookie year was 2012, I think.
Was it really that late? I thought it was late 2000s into the early 10s. But
no, Trout's rookie year, if I remember correctly, I think he got called up for a game or two in 2011. His first full year was 2012, and then 2013 was like his first full year. I think he didn't go into the bigs until 2011, 2012.
2002 was the last time they were in the championship, and they beat the San Francisco Giants. Battle of the Bay.
2002?
Yeah, that was their last World Series championship.
That was that the Rally Monkey year?
Mayhaps.
Remember the
If
Angels had the Rally Monkey.
if it helps you at all, Cat, World Series MVP that year went to Troy Glaus, St. Louis Cardinals legend.
Okay, now are you going to pull this same? I know how anyone who ever put on a Denver Broncos jersey for a day is a Denver Broncos legend.
I only say that because I'm pretty sure Troy Glaus was on that team with Scott Rowland, Albert Pujols, and them and Jim Edmonds when they won the World Series, wasn't he?
Pujols was on a couple of those teams. I remember the last one they won, I think, was 2007 or 2008 when they won like 86 games in the regular season, but just got so fucking hot.
It was 2006 whenever they won that one.
Okay.
Because 07 was the aforementioned Rockies Red Sox.
Okay, 07 was right. Yeah, you're right. It would have been 2006. You're correct. You're correct. See, when you get to be my age, a lot of shit starts to run together, and you have a little bit of trouble. Like, I'll always know, okay, Yankees, Red Sox. It was 2003 was sort of the first big run of it, and the Yankees clobbered them. Then 2004, it looked like the Yankees were going to clobber them again. And then the Red Sox had that comeback and beat the Cardinals in the World Series. They swept them, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no. Greg Cherry on Twitter the other day, there was a tweet that said, as a sports fan, what moment will always have you as an I'm crying moment? And he's like, 2004 ALCS. And I was like, oh, this one?
I mean, there's several from, 2004 ALCS, September 1998 when McGuire broke the home run record. Those are really big ones from my childhood. Trying to think, what are a few others? Gosh,
the Tuck rule.
No, no, because I wasn't a Raider fan at that point.
What football team were you following then?
At that point, I was following the Cowboys and the Titans.
Okay.
Those are my teams.
Just closer to you at the time.
Well, the Patriots beating the Rams was big because I fucking hated the Rams. I hated fucking Kurt Warner. I hated fucking Marshall Faulk. I hated fucking Torrey Holt. I hated fucking Isaac Bruce. I hated fucking Mike Martz. I fucking hated that goddamn team. I fucking hate offense. I like defense. And the fact that the Patriots, this little team that could, shut down that fucking asshole on turf team, that was huge for me. Because all my friends at school like, oh, the Rams are so good. Oh, they're the greatest. Fuck you. They played a half-ass good defense and got shut down. I was scared shitless. I was scared shitless going to the Super Bowl. Here's why. Patriots are 14-point underdogs. They beat the Steelers in the AFC title game a week prior. This is still when it was just a 1 week break between title games and the Super Bowl.
Well, yeah, because the Pro Bowl would take place after the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The Steelers had the number one defense in the NFL by far. I think they recorded like 55, 56 sacks in the 2001 season. And I was like, oh, the Steelers are going to make quick work of the Jags and the Patriots. They're going to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to kick the Rams in the ass.
And the Jags.
Well, then they played the Patriots, and fucking Cordell Stewart just. And I was like, well, this is going to fucking suck because now this little Patriots asshole.
That is one person that I can legitimately say. Colorado Buffs legend, Cordell Stewart.
60-yard game-winning touchdown pass. Cordell was a Colorado Buffaloes legend.
He was a dog.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, my God. Why? Like, what is this injustice? Had it been the Steelers making it here, they would have kicked the Rams in the ass so hard they would have been slumping back to St. Louis with their testicles in their hands. Now it's just going to be a St. Louis snow job.
That was Brady's first, right?
Yep, that was Brady's first year under center, and we got to halftime, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like the Rams should be up like 35-0. How are the Patriots holding them? But turned out it was a combination of Bill Belichick being a great defensive mind and Mike Martz being a complete and total shithead.
Well, also the Rams were going for a two-peat that year, weren't they? Because they had beat the Titans the year before, right?
No, they were going for a 2-3.
Oh,
the year before was the Ravens beating the Giants.
That's right.
What's his name?
Fucking Trent Dilfer at quarterback.
Trent Dilfer, yeah. The year before was Ravens Giants. The reason the Rams didn't make it that year, I believe, is because either Warner got hurt or Falk got hurt. Something about one of those two got hurt.
Now, were you a Cowboys fan from 90 to 95? Can you actually relate with Raymond here? Because that team was – I said it on Twitter the other day. There's a reason this team won so many championships, and that offensive line is a damn good reason as to why they won so many.
Three Super Bowls in 5 years and 4 NFC championship games in 5 years. The Cowboys were the I Ching. They did everything right. They had the best quarterback. They had the best running back. They had the best receiver. They had the best tight end. They had the best offensive line. They had a kick-ass defense. They had a great head coach. The first two Super Bowls Dallas won in 93 and 94 under, what's his name? The great hairdo. Jimmy Johnson.
Was that who was the head coach at the time?
Of the first two was Jimmy Johnson. That team was something special. Then the next year, San Francisco beat them in the NFC title game and went on to just crush the Bengals in the Super Bowl in 94. Then 95 came around, and this was where Jerry Jones's ego started to bite him in the dick. He and Jimmy Johnson weren't going to get along, so Jimmy Johnson is gone. In comes the head coach from Oklahoma, Switzer, who was just going to be a yes man for Jerry Jones. But the team was already there. Basically all Switzer had to do was just stand there and scratch his nuts, and that team was going to win a Super Bowl, which they did. They beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 30 against the Steelers.
That Cowboys team, Troy Aikman could have ran the offense by himself, and it wouldn't have mattered because that offensive line is making sure that Aikman is seeing everything. Yeah.
Between Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, the tight end, what was his name?
Who was the tight end at the time? It wasn't.
They had a great tight end. They also had fullback Moose Johnson back in the days when fullback was a legit position,
And then you have
Jay Novacek. Jay Novacek was the tight end.
And then Larry Allen being able to bench press 700 fucking pounds, and the rest of the offensive line pushing 600.
Not to mention Deion Sanders in the secondary. That team was just.
Was Roy Williams on the team at the time or no?
No, Roy Williams didn't even come out of Texas until.
No, there were two Roy Williams that have played for the Cowboys. I know there was one in the 90s and then there was one in the 2000s.
That I don't recall. I mean, God, when they won that last Super Bowl, I was like
Ray Williams.
I was 8 years old when they beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 30. I mean, come on, give me some credit. I can't remember every fucking detail from before I was even thinking of what are pubes. What
does Butters say? Whenever he sees his morning wood, what did Butters say to his mom?
I don't know if I've seen that episode. Which one are you talking?
Oh my God, what the fuck does he say? So he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, good morning there, little mister," or some shit like that.
Yeah, that sounds like a Butters like, "Yeah, good morning there, little mister."
I'm sure somebody in
whenever he's at the urinal, he always lifts his shirt and like, "Hey, Mr. Wiener, you gotta pee?"
Fucking hell.
Anyway, in a pre-South Park world, which we're talking about, 1996, Super Bowl 30. And then after that, 97 was the Packers over the Patriots. Then you had 98, which was Broncos over the Packers, Broncos over the Falcons. Then it was Rams over Titans, Giants over Ravens, Patriots over Rams.
Or no, you meant Ravens over Giants.
Ravens over Giants, yeah. The two. Well, see, the season happens in one year, the Super Bowl happens in another year, so it gets a little hazy trying to keep shit together.
Hey, that's the only thing keeping Denver with 3 titles in 10 years, because the Super Bowl happens in February.
You are such a schmuck. You realize
I
that?
am.
I mean, you are schmucky. You are schmucky McSmuckerton on this Denver thing.
Oh, bro.
3-10.
Hey, the Nuggets, the Broncos, the Avalanche, all in the last 10 years. We just need the Rockies to do something. The other three Denver organizations are poking the Rockies with a stick, going, "Come on, do something." Hell, even Denver University's fucking hockey team is coming over and kicking them and going, "Come on, we even got a title."
What was it with the Meatloaf saying, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Denver singing, 3 out of 10 ain't sad.
Call us Title Town in the last 10 years.
God fucking damn it. I forget where the fuck we were talking about the star. We were talking about Mike Modano and Brett Hull back in the 90s, 2000s, being that awesome Stars team.
How did we get from, I guess we go from one Dallas Star to another Dallas Star talking about the Cowboys, but I digress.
In the early 90s, don't forget you had Buffalo making the Super Bowl 4 years in a fucking row and losing all 4 of them. Can you imagine? Okay, you and I watch the NFL religiously. Can you imagine us being transported with today's technology and what have you, everything?
Imagine if podcasts were around during that time period.
Yeah. And the Buffalo Bills making the Super Bowl 4 fucking years in a row and losing all 4 fucking years in a row.
Well, I can honestly tell you that.
And OJ was retired. OJ Simpson wasn't on any of those teams.
It was Bruce Smith.
Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly. They had a great running back.
Andre Rison was there too.
Andre Rison was there. 4 fucking. They ran into the Giants, the 49ers, and the Cowboys twice. I think those are the 14. The Giants, the 49ers, and twice by the Cowboys were the 4. Maybe you can effort that to correct me here. I think it was the Giants, the 49ers, and then back-to-back to the Cowboys. Because Phil Simms got his second ring against them. Montana got his last one against them. And then Aikman got his first 2.
You had him. It was New York, Washington, and then Dallas back-to-back. Mind you,
Washington was right. Joe Gibbs. Yeah, that's right. Joe Gibbs.
Was that the holdout year? Was that the what's it called? The
so 93. So 93, 92 was Dallas. 91 would have been Washington.
91 was New York. 92 was Washington. 93 was Dallas. 94 was Dallas. Also, 93, I think, still holds up. Other than Denver's, once again, making history. 1993 at the time was the worst Super Bowl loss in history, being 52-17.
Yeah, it was rotten.
And then Denver goes and fucks that one up too. Back in fucking see it. God damn it.
Oh, the pain that flows through the veins. The pain in the vein.
Nowhere near as bad as the pain that flows through the veins of Bills fans.
The year that Denver, when they had the drive in the AFC title game, when they beat the Browns, when Elway had that 80-yard or 98-yard drive in 2 minutes,
capped
whatever.
Capped off by the rushing touchdown, correct?
Yeah, and who did they play? They played San Francisco that year, right?
Yeah, and then I think we got our asses beat.
So Montana got his 4 in the 80s, then Young got his in 94 against Cincinnati. So they won 5 in like 10 years.
I have the Super Bowl hat for Denver at least.
Because the Cowboys they had the two against the Bills, then San Francisco beat Cincinnati by just bollocks, just completely shattered them. 87, 97, 98, 2016. Because Dallas got the two over Buffalo, then they missed a year because San Francisco with Steve Young was just peaking, and then they got the other one against Pittsburgh, and then they got to the divisional title game or the divisional round the next year, and since then Dallas has not eclipsed the divisional round. They have not gotten any farther since the Super Bowl in 1996 than they did in '98 in the divisional round. That is. Think about the mathematics on that. I just let me pull up my calculator here. 2024. Oh, come on, fucker. 2024 minus 1998. Dallas has not advanced since the divisional round in 26 years. Matthew, how old are you?
26.
There you go, Ray. Look at the man on the other half of the screen. Your team has not done shit since he popped out of his mama's vagina.
Yeah, roundabout. Because we were still doing this.
Matty is the Cowboy curse because since his birth, Dallas ain't done shit.
Yeah, in my lifetime, I got to see Dallas put Ezekiel Elliott at center.
In your lifetime, you lived to see many things, including that whatever that play was Indianapolis ran with two guys on the offensive line and scattering.
It was literally the exact same thing that Dallas tried to do in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was in the same vein.
Indianapolis tried it in a game that they needed to win.
So NHL playoffs, what do you?
It's Dallas, Edmonton, and the Ice Kitties versus
the Rangers.
I'm going to take Ice Kitties versus Edmonton finals.
I just, as much as I would love for our brethren up north to have a Canadian team win it, of all the teams you could have gotten this far, it had to be the goddamn Oilers, the most arrogant, smug sons of bitches.
I find it funny because the only Canadian hockey team that deserves to make it that far is Montreal.
Well, no, I was at the
Vancouver. Vancouver was close. Maple Leafs.
The Maple Leafs are the ones that deserve it because they were gods on the ice in the early to mid '60s, and then Harold Ballard, and then Harold Ballard became majority owner, I think, in '68 or '69 after he got out of prison, and the team hasn't done shit since. Harold Ballard is
lost in translation there.
67 was the last year Toronto won. Patrick Mahomes soon. Mahomes is the new Brady. Let's face it here.
Hey, even my coworkers are like, "Are you ready for the inevitable three-peat?" And I'm like, "No, it's not gonna fucking happen."
No, it's not just gonna.
3 in a row.
Did you see how the NFL scheduled the games for the Chiefs around Taylor Swift's touring schedule?
Speaking of, schedule's released, and I don't think that was something that we were supposed to hop onto.
Well, we can go long tonight. That's no big deal. I was hoping we could do that with Dev, so we could do that with the Ravens.
We can do that next week. Then.
Did you see how the NFL scheduled the Chiefs games around Taylor Swift's touring schedule to where she would only have to miss 2 or 3?
And I believe those 2 or 3 are primetime games. But I also saw that they put most of Kansas City's most difficult games early in the season.
They did the same for Dallas. They did the same for Dallas. Dallas doesn't play a team worth of shit after week 8. They play San Francisco, Detroit, and San Francisco, Baltimore, and Detroit. I think those 3 teams, they play them all within the first 8 or 9 weeks. After that, they don't play fucking anybody.
Meanwhile, Kansas City literally plays, I think, their 3 toughest games all in a row to start the season. in Baltimore, Cincy, and I think don't they have Pittsburgh after
Pittsburgh,
that?
Pittsburgh is the team that got fucking screwed on the schedule. Holy jumping fucking frog balls.
If you listen
Mike Tomlin's going to be unemployed next year.
If you listen to some people, like if you listen to one of Pittsburgh Steelers fans, Chiseled Adonis.
I'm going to release some ballast. I'm still listening.
Yeah. If you listen to other YouTube channels that follow sports, like Chiseled Adonis, he is a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He said that Pittsburgh does have a chance to make the playoffs. I think he said that their ceiling is 11 wins, but that their floor is 9 wins. I was listening to the video and I was kind of skeptical, but something tells me that when we look at their schedule, which we will here in a little bit, again, rain, sleet, or snow, hell or high water, Mike Tomlin is dragging this team to above 500 this year. Raiders have one primetime game, and for some fucking reason, I think Denver has 2 or 3, when we don't deserve a single solitary fucking one. And I believe the Raiders primetime game is Black Friday, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to do a little bit of efforting on my part to find that Raiders primetime game.
The Raiders have one primetime game. Denver has 2.
And again, we don't deserve one.
Neither do we. But the rule is every team has to have at least one primetime game. That's like every team has to get at least one. That should change unless you finished at least 5. No, I'm not bullshitting. Unless your team finished at least 500 or better the year before, you don't get a fucking primetime game. Fuck you.
So, Kat, let us, in order of like our teams. Oh, Raymond's like Cowboys have 6. That's because you're America's team, and as long as Fox has games, you will be primetime. And the Thanksgiving game, of course, as well.
It's the fact. Well, I wouldn't count the Thanksgiving afternoon game as a primetime.
That's right. They're always in the afternoon. I thought they were the nighttime game.
The Lions play at 11:30. The Cowboys play at 3:30, 3 or 3:30. Then you have the nighttime game, which has only been around now for about 8 or so years. The Thursday, the Thanksgiving primetime game. But now they're doing Black Friday.
I think you guys play on Black Friday, but I think we'll see that whenever we go.
Well, I'll also say that this year is the weakest fucking Sunday. Like the red zone, like they are trying to fucking kill red zone. Like the Sunday slate this year, they have basically taken every fucking good game and thrown it into prime time wherever they fucking go.
It's either on prime time or you'll have one game during the day and one at the afternoon slot, and then you've got 2, 3 prime time. Well, we can't even say
the Sunday noon and the Sunday 3 o'clock slate is fucking dog shit anymore. Like
the Thursday games,
they killed it this year.
The Thursday games still absolutely suck. I don't think America or the NFL has forgiven Germany for World War II, because why in God's name are we getting the Giants versus the Panthers in Munich, Germany?
They have done they're doing everything they can to kill Sundays. And I think I don't want to be a conspiracy theory here.
I think they want to kill revenues or avenues that are able to be watched like a red zone. They want it to be all on one or several streaming services. Because if you didn't hear, the fucking Christmas games are going to be on Netflix this year.
Yeah. Do you hear what Netflix paid to get those games?
I did not. Is it on the level of Amazon Prime's deal?
Oh, dude, let me find the number.
Also, Brady will be making his debut as a commentator for Week 1 in Dallas, which should be a fun game.
Netflix gets 3 games this year. 3 games. Guess what they paid?
Right?
All inclusive. Netflix gets 3 NFL games this year. $150 million. $50 million a game. That is what Netflix paid for 3 fucking games this season.
Meanwhile, the WWE Netflix deal, which begins in January, has been
Actually, no. They paid $150 million for the Christmas game. They paid $75 million per game. They paid $150 for the Christmas game. So 75 times 3, they paid $225. But for the Christmas games alone, they paid $125 million.
If they paid that much for that, and they paid $5 billion for their current deal with the WWE, Netflix is wanting sports. Netflix has been wanting sports. Netflix has been wanting.
Well, the point is, CBS, Fox, and ESPN, the NFL's trying to push them out. Like your normal CBS, Fox, Sunday slate. That's going to be a fucking thing in the past.
Happening. It's happening in the NBA too. I mean, this is the last season for Inside the NBA with Ernie, Shaq, Charles.
This is the last year for MLB Sunday Night Baseball. Give it time. The NFL is going to move the Sunday slate. Like Sunday Ticket is going to be on Netflix, or it's going to be on Amazon Prime, or
I don't know. YouTube is paying a lot of fucking money to have a Sunday Ticket.
What I'm trying to make is the networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox are not going to have sports in 20 years.
No.
Give it 20 years. The 4 networks, they're not going to be broadcasting sports. It's going to be sitcoms, network dramas, and what they call news. They're not going to have sports.
Yeah.
Anywho, so we were talking about we need to save the schedule rundown until we get the devs so we can do Raiders, Ravens,
we'll do that
and
next
Broncos.
week.
We need to save that, but look at the Steelers' schedule Thanksgiving onward.
Yeah, actually, we can pull up Pittsburgh's. Let's pull up Pittsburgh's real quick.
Let's pull up the Steelers' schedule. Why the fuck not? Because damn almighty, is this a fucking shit show.
While we're at it, let's
Pittsburgh
also pull up Kansas City. I also wanted to see theirs.
All right, so they have their bye 9. Thanksgiving is when is let me scroll, because Thanksgiving is always the last Thursday in November, the 28th. So let's look at December 1st onward, which is going to be their thing. Well, actually, no. Let's look at. Let's just call it. Let's call it November onward. Let's call this segment November onward, Matthew.
Okay.
Hosting Baltimore, at Cleveland, at Cincinnati, hosting Cleveland, at Philly, at Baltimore, hosting Kansas City, hosting Cincinnati. Those are the last
all of their divisional games in the last 8 games of the season.
They are, dude. The fuck. That is the last 8 game, and that's all in a row. That's after the bye week. They have Washington right after the bye week, which Washington will be decent. But if you throw Washington, that's the last 9 games of the year in a fucking row. And the Kansas City game is Christmas Day. All the others are either the Cleveland game is a Thursday nighter, and the others are your normal Sunday slate. Steelers got fucking hosed, and I'm sure Greg's here tomorrow night when you're on the show with Greg. Ask Greg to take a look at the Steelers schedule.
There was no Greg Cherry show this week. Greg is dealing family issues.
He had a death in the family. That's right. Best wishes to Greg. He's an awesome guy.
Let me share my screen because this is what the Kansas City Chiefs are looking at.
Okay, let's take a look at this smorgasbord, and I say that tongue in cheek.
Week 1, they are hosting Baltimore. Week 2, hosting Cincy.
Okay. So since we're not doing prediction wins for our teams, let's look at all of our mortal rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. My favorite team to bet on the team I least want to see succeed. So
Their fucking bye week
opening
is
night.
the second week of October.
Let's look at this. Okay, week one. Let me grab something to write on here. Cap always has something to write on. Chiefs, and I'll save this in our cache that I keep over on my bookcase of our random predictions that we make, and I just stuff them away until it's time for us to take our medicine. So week one, host Baltimore. I'm going win here.
Baltimore can't do it in the postseason, so they'll do it in the fucking regular season.
Week two, they host the Bengals. I'm going win. I'm going win here. The Bengals have a shitload to make up for after. Now, granted, Burrow was hurt last year, and I've heard in the few pods that I've listened to, a lot of them are saying Cincinnati isn't as sold on Burrow as they used to be because
as long as Burrow doesn't get hurt, Burrow is their quarterback.
Well, also here's the thing.
They're looking
Well, here's also this. He's constantly been hurt, and this most recent injury that took him out last year, statistically, the success rate post-surgery that he had, whereas like a lot of them in the NFL are like 90, 95%, his is like a 70, 75% success rate that they come back from it. So Cincinnati, this could be a make or break year for Burrow. If he doesn't do shit, they may be drafting a quarterback next year. I say they take Cincinnati.
We can hop over to the Eagles after this. I don't see the issue in that. Week three, they are heading to Atlanta.
I'm giving that one a win.
Yeah, they have to win that one. I'm going to put my confirmation down that Cincinnati wins week 2. Actually, no. If Baltimore,
hold on 1 second. Let me differentiate Natty from Cap here.
If Baltimore wins week 1, since he loses week 2, so Baltimore won, since he lost.
So you're saying there's going to be a split?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Atlanta, unless Kirk Cousins turns into Kirk Chains, there's no way that they're losing.
Kirk Chains?
Yeah, Kirk Chains. You know, when Kirk Cousins is shirtless and is just wearing chains.
Good Christ. Week 4 at the Chargers.
I want to say the Chargers get at least one this year against Kansas City.
See, that's Sunday. That's at the Chargers. That's the prime time. So CBS has the prime time game that week. The game of the week.
Yeah. Do I say that the Chargers win early in the season, or do I say that they win later in the season? I want to say Harbaugh starts strong. I want to say Harbaugh starts strong. Chargers get the win here.
I'm gonna go Chargers here as well. But I'm not gonna be surprised if they muck it up. Week 5, they host the Suns.
Oh, if we know anything from what we saw last year, Saints ain't doing shit this year. Kansas City takes this one handedly.
That's a win, okay. Week 6, they have a bye.
Who gets hurt first, Burrow or Rodgers? We don't want anybody to get hurt other than Patrick Mahomes over here, but I'm pretty sure Rodgers' ACL is going to eat something this year.
Which one? The same in the Achilles leg or the?
I wouldn't doubt it. I would not doubt it.
Don't worry, he's going to rub some healing crystals on it, eat some mushrooms, he'll be back in 2 weeks.
Now, Cap.
We went through this last year, mate. He was ready to be back in like 2-3 weeks. They just decided not to play.
We are only 6 weeks into the season, and Kansas City already has their bye week.
Yep.
This is bullshit.
No, it's not. It hurts the Chiefs. If you want your bye week later in the season to help you,
What if they just build up momentum that they don't stop, and they just run the table after the bye week?
Injuries happen.
They do happen.
NFL, injuries happen. The later your bye week, the
But
better.
when the Chiefs are a bunch of no-names and Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter.
Well, week 7, Super Bowl rematch at San Fran.
Who's the quarterback? Purdy?
I would think, unless there's some kind of an injury that occurs.
Debo's back. Did they make the deal with Ayuk, or is he a free agent still?
Ayuk has requested a trade. I haven't heard anything past that.
That's what it was. He wanted a trade. If the team constitutes as is, the 49ers are just a better built team than the fucking Chiefs offenses.
I'm going Chiefs here because historically, statistically, there's no better coach off a bye than Andy Reid. Let's check Andy Reid record off buys. Andy Reid record off bye weeks. 28-3 off bye weeks.
He's been a head coach for 31 seasons.
He was the OC for the Packers when they won the Super Bowl with Favre. And then the year against Denver, he was the OC there. Then he took over the Eagles job for like a decade. Then he got the Chiefs job. He's been a head coach for almost as long as I've been alive, and he's been an OC
for even longer.
Yeah.
So
I'm going Chiefs here simply because there's nobody better off a bye than Andy.
I hate it. I think Kansas City wins here. Also, Raymond, for your Lakers, apparently there's a real possibility, according to Eric, or ESPN reporter Eric, that Chris Paul will be joining the Lakers. Enjoy damaged goods.
So at this point, we both have the Chiefs losing one game. And that Chargers game is amazing.
No, I have them losing 2. I have them losing to Baltimore, and I have them losing to the Chargers.
The Chargers, you gave them a win.
I said that they're going to lose to the Chargers here. I think they might.
No. What you said was you said Baltimore Bengals, they're going to win one and lose one. You had them beating.
And then I have them beating Atlanta, Chargers. And then I have them losing to the Chargers because they're going to beat the Chargers later in the season. Okay.
So you've got 2 L's on them. I've got 1. Week 8 at the Raiders. Win.
In Allegiant?
In the Death Star, that's a win.
Fuck it. The Raiders are going to win close to Halloween. There's nothing scarier than that happening.
You are delusional.
I am delusional.
Week 9, they host Tampa Bay on that's Monday night. They host Tampa Bay on Monday night. That's a win.
Will Baker bake? I don't think so. I think Kansas City beats Tampa.
Okay, so you're going win there. So that's week 9. So week 10, Broncos.
Day after Devin's birthday. Day after Devin's birthday, you can guarantee Denver's beating the Chiefs.
You're going Bronco win there?
I'm going the Broncos to beat the Chiefs after Devin's birthday. You bet your sweet ass.
That's a loss. All right, scroll them down. At Buffalo. That's
at Buffalo.
That's the CBS Sunday.
Middle of November. Could there be snow?
It's not. Chiefs won that fucking game when it was 30 below.
Well, that's right.
Ray, I can answer your most recent question. The answer is no, and the answer is they're going to lose a shitload of fucking games.
To what?
The Patriots.
Oh no, I was about to say we could also look at them because they've got one of the easier strength of schedules this year for some reason.
It doesn't matter. They fucking suck. They're not going to win more than 4 or 5 games.
Drake may could turn it around. Who knows?
Oh, for the love of Christ, you guys are smoking shit that I have not even ever been privy to.
Carolina is going to get fucking slaughtered.
Wait. So what's your Bills? I'm taking win. What are you saying?
if weather permits it, I want to say Buffalo takes this.
So you're going loss, okay? Week 12 at Panthers, that's a win.
I don't think we're going to see a more egregious loss. As a matter of fact, I think Kansas City might play their fucking backups in this game. So if Carolina wins, it's because they're playing backups.
So you're going loss for the Chiefs here?
No, I'm going win for the Chiefs, even if they put in their backups.
Okay. I was like, what the fuck is Maddie's?
Kansas City could put in their third strings and call up a couple bums off the street and put them in Chiefs uniforms, and I think Andy Reid would still coach them to a win against the Panthers.
Week 13, hosting the Raiders, that's a win.
Yeah, you guys going there, you guys will lose.
All right.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the Chargers. Chargers are going to lose in Arrowhead as well.
I'm going, yeah. So week 15 at the Browns, that's a win.
This is a weird one. Cleveland's defense might surprise us here, Cap. I genuinely think Cleveland's defense could surprise us here and shut down Mahomes.
You're going another Chiefs L here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cleveland. And Raymond, we actually, unfortunately, have to play them again at the end of the season.
They're divisional. They play twice. So week 16, that would be hosting the Texans. Oh, Stroud.
The Houston Crowds.
But it's in Kansas City. I think it's going to be a damn fine game.
I want to say.
Oh, that's also that's a cock exclusive. That's Saturday, December. That's a Saturday game, so that's a cock exclusive. I think it's close, but I got to give it to KC here. If this was in Houston, If this was in Houston, I would be very 50-50.
Oh, Raymond, Denver, because it's the day after Devin's birthday.
It's not gonna matter, Ray.
But yeah, no. Kansas City's experience is going to lift them over Houston. I want to see Houston win, but Houston might be the ones to pull it out in the playoffs. I see this game happening again in the AFC Championship.
Week 17 at the Steelers. Now, not only is this on the road, but look,
Christmas
this is their second game in 4 days.
Christmas game.
Exclusive to FlixNet. On the road, 4 days rest.
Pittsburgh takes this.
They could be playing.
TJ Watt is going to be way too much for a.
He's going to be hurt by this time. He's always hurt by this point in the season.
No, he's usually back by this point. He gets hurt early and is back by the end of the season.
Well, also, who's going to be quarterbacking the Steelers at this point? Is it going to be Russ or is it going to be Fields?
I say Justin Fields, and I say because it's Justin Fields that they're going to win. Kansas City's defense, I don't know, man. I really don't. Pittsburgh has every chance to win this game. Pittsburgh will beat Pittsburgh here if that's what happens.
So you're going Steelers here. So that'll be their second game in 4 days, their third game in 10 days. 3 games. Look at that. 15 that's 3 games in 10 days.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm going L here for the Steelers, and it's simply just due to exhaustion. 3 games in 10 fucking days.
And then they've got another 10 days in between the games that they play Denver, which
and that's at Broncos. Andy Reid prepared. That's a win.
In Denver, January 5th, it's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy up here. There's a very good chance that we see Andy the Walrus Reid once again.
So I have the Chiefs 14-3.
So even you don't logistically think that they go undefeated this year.
No, but I could see bullshit and chicanery coming in. So you have them beating the Broncos or losing to the Broncos?
Oh, I have them beating the horse piss out of us to end the season.
Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have them 12-5.
I want to say that was their record last year.
12-5, 11. Yeah, I think 12-5. So you have them dropping either one of two to Baltimore and Cincinnati. You've got them dropping the one at the Chargers, which I also see that as a very potential loss.
They were 11-6 last year.
You see them dropping the one at the Raiders.
I see them. No. In Allegiant, yes.
That's the one loss on this schedule that the Browns I could maybe see since it's on the road. The Browns defense maybe, but
there was one game last year that you guys had them very close.
I'm not bitching so much about your win-loss total here, Matty. I think you've got one more. I think you have one too many losses baked in simply from looking at the. I think you're giving them one more loss. If you said 13-4 to my 14-3, but I think 12-5, I think they're better than that this year.
They went 11-6 last year with a worse team, arguably.
I don't see them losing to the Raiders. I don't see them losing to the Browns.
Angels start soon.
Well, see, here's the thing. They could cough up a game to the Bills, and it's not going to fucking matter because they're still going to win that division, and the Bills still have to contend with the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Patriots, as well as the other and the Chargers. I mean, they could cough up a loss to the Bills and it not be that hurtsome, if that's even a word.
That hurtsome?
Hurtsome. 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 So right. I will just take this and I will file this away in Captain's log.
All right. And while we are here, let's just take a peek at the Eagles.
What all is in Captain's log at this point? So, okay, those are our WrestleMania predictions. We can throw those the fuck out. Here's our MLB end-of-season predictions. Here is our Chiefs schedule. Okay, so we can put that in here.
And now we've got the Eagles to talks.
God, this is a weird team to fucking figure out.
Well, here's the thing. The season's
actually, you know what? Actually, you know what? We've got Ray. Let's go to the Cowboys schedule.
Okay.
Go to the Cowboys.
Real quick.
Go to the Cowboys. Let's go through the Cowboys schedule because I just want to make Ray. I'm like Clint Eastwood. I want to make Ray's day.
They've got a very good strength of schedule this year, actually. Let me just switch this over.
Well, no, Cowboys got it easy because all their legit games are early in the year. So Cowboys.
I'm pulling it up right now.
2024.
Share this tab instead. There we go.
Cap, Matty.
They start the season in Cleveland.
So week 1 at Tom Brady.
Yes, Brady on the call.
Is Watson? I wish we had your simp here. Is Watson? He's the QB this year.
Watson's more than likely going to start the season unless he gets hurt in OTAs or some shit like that. I think Watson's going to start.
Or gets another series of, grabsy suits.
Yeah.
Maddie, have you ever been to a massage parlor in your life? I haven't.
No, but for weird fact about my hometown, like we've got fucking 6 separate massage parlors in Longmont alone.
And you've never been to a single one?
No, I don't like other people touching me.
Okay. All right. I've never been to one either, and I've only been to 2 or 3 strip clubs in my entire. I don't like strip clubs. It's just a weird thing. I don't like strip clubs.
I don't like people touching me. I don't like people I don't know touching me. I'll put it that way. I don't like people I don't know touching me.
Okay, that's a new one. Any howdy doody. All right, at Cleveland,
Dallas at Cleveland.
Cowboys, opening week.
You want to know something weird? I think Dak and Zeke are going to pop off week 1. They're going to have a very good game, both men. So I think Cleveland loses here. Dallas takes week 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna go win here. I don't see an overwhelming reason to say loss, so I'm gonna go win. I'm gonna give them this one. Week 2, they host the Saints. I'm gonna go win
the Saints.
Okay, so we got them starting 2-0.
New Orleans.
Ray, hold your cock until things are over. Oh,
New Orleans is not an NFL team. New Orleans, strength-wise, is the fucking Chicago White Sox of the NFL.
No, they're better. Matty, back when you were an adolescent, like say 15, 16 years old, how long from the time you put your hand to your nethers to the time you were ready to go? What were you like? What 5-10 seconds, and you were just ready to go to town?
Well, I have a disposition that it doesn't take much, so time is a construct.
Funny story. I'll share off the air. It's a little too graphic. It's a little too graphic even for the overproduced raw ballers to a certain someone who messaged us this last week.
As we say, we don't produce shit on the RAWBall podcast. I actually got a message
not even ourselves
the other day. Sorry, Devin. Ravens are going to be put down. No.
Hold on. So week 3, they host the Ravens?
Yeah, week 3 they host the Ravens, and I think the Ravens.
That's an L.
With Derrick Henry in Baltimore, they are going to steamroll the defense of the Cowboys.
But will Baltimore remember to run the ball in the playoffs? That's
the only person on your guys' defense that can stop Derrick Henry is Parsons, and he can't be there for every tackle.
All right, so week 4 at the Giants.
I have absolutely no idea how this Giants team is going to look this year.
I'm going dub there for the Cowboys. I'm giving them this one. So I've got them starting in one. It's at New York in MetLife. It's Thursday night.
ACLs and Achilles muscles be praised. I really hope that gets hurt. I'm going to.
You have. Oh! Now you signed Micah Person as well as Micah Parson. You have Micah Person.
I think Dallas takes the win here.
Okay, week 5 at Pittsburgh.
By this point, it should still be
the Cowboys are snake bit at Pittsburgh. I'm going Steelers here. Even in Dak and Zeke's rookie year, Pittsburgh should have. I'm going Steelers here.
It should still be Russ by this point in time.
And that is a Sunday night game. Yeah, that is Sunday night on the Cock.
Russell Wilson on Sundays is fantastic. I'm going to take Pittsburgh here.
Okay, so let's count up the primetime games here. So so we're up to 2. I'm just going to keep a running tally here. Then you've got America's Game of the Week: Cowboys versus the Lions. Lions are taking this one. Lions are taking this one. Maddie agrees. That is and then we've got a Week 7 All right, Week 8.
Another team coming right off the bye and going into San Fran.
Another Sunday nighter at San Fran. Gosh, I'm going lost here too. Shanahan is another great coach who's good off the bye. That is 3 primetime fucking games. Week 9 at the Falcons.
I take Atlanta here. Middle of the season, Kirk Cousins is a different animal.
I'm going win here just because I have them losing 3 in a row. So you have them losing 4 in a row.
Yeah, because they're going to win the next game.
Week 10, hosting the Eagles. What the fuck? That's a CBS game of the week.
They are beating Philly. They are beating Philadelphia.
I'm going loss. You're going win. So we flip flop the last 2 games. Week 11,
they host Houston
versus the Texans. I'm going loss there as well.
Yeah, the Strouds win here.
All right, Week 12.
Let me scroll down for us.
All right,
Washington Commies.
I'm going rebound redemption win there.
They beat the Commies, and then they beat the Giants at home as well.
Hold on, you're talking fast. You're predilecting faster than I can predilect. 13 versus the Giants. I'm going dub there. You went dub there. Week 14. They host the Bengals.
December.
I'm going loss there.
Monday night in Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas win.
That's 4. That's 4 prime timers.
Yeah, I take a Dallas win here in Cincy.
You're taking Dallas. All right. Week 15 at the Panthers. That's a win.
They gotta get one this season, and I think Carolina takes it here.
You fucking Maddie, this is why I love you so much, Maddie. This is why I honestly to God, I cannot wait till you actually move down here and you and I live like within a block of each other. We get to do this shit in person, and we can just like lay Sundays like bring cash, and we just start laying cash down on the coffee table for bets. Which, by the way, is how Hunter S. Thompson ran his house on Sundays. He would invite his friends over to watch football, and it was like bring cash, and they would just be making bets all day. All right, week 16 versus Bucks.
Wait, you just skipped right over that, so I'm assuming you're taking Dallas.
Yeah, I took Dallas to win that one.
Versus
Bucks, week 16. Another fucking primetime game. God damn it. Fuck.
Hey,
Monday nighter on the Cock. Ray, well, I know you have them going 17-0.
Baker and the Buccaneers at this point are going to be making a big push for the playoffs. I see Tampa getting the win here.
I'm going Cowboys here for 2 reasons. One, it's in Dallas. Dallas plays very well at home. And Lightning ain't going to strike twice for Tampa this year. So I'm going win for Dallas. You're going loss for Dallas.
Yeah, I'm going a win for Tampa here.
All right, week 17 at the Eagles.
Holy hell. Raymond actually has a loss for them. Because I also have them losing to Philly.
Oh, Ray gives them one loss for the year. Oh, goody gumdrops. So we're both going loss here.
Yeah, I was about to say they lose to Philly here. Wasn't there a season not too long ago that they had 14-2 with Dak?
Something like that. Week 18 versus the Commies.
I have them sweeping the Commies this season.
Yeah, I'm going win there as well. So let's tabulate here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 wins and
8 losses.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 losses. Maddie has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins and 9 losses. You have the Cowboys going sub 500 this year.
The teams that they're playing this year, it all depends on how the other teams play. And I know that should be a John Madden quote.
That literally sounds that's very Madden.
This season all depends on the play of their opponents.
Oh God.
All right, let us hop over to division rivals, the Eagles.
All right, let's take a look at the Eagles are kind of a team I don't quite know what to make of.
They start in Brazil against the Packers.
They're starting in your home. Well, not quite your home.
No, I ain't Brazilian.
Well, Hispanic, close enough. All right, so week
1, Brazil, Green Bay.
Wait. Okay, week 1 versus Packers. Although that's
on a Friday night.
That's a cock game.
Friday night. Such a weird night for a week 1 game.
Also, that is the same night that most high school football teams kick off, is the first Friday in September after Labor Day.
Hey, I've already said what they should do. The Packers are considered the home team for this game. Eagles go with the white uniforms. Packers use their yellow uniforms. Easy loophole there.
Maddie, have you ever gone to a high school football game out there in Colorado? I'm guessing. I mean, it's Colorado. Football's a big sport. I was curious if you've ever been to it.
I have to remember because I want to say I got stoned under the bleachers at a football game. I know I went to a couple out in Missouri, but
I haven't been to a high school football game since 2005, 2000. It's been a good 20. It's been a good 20 since I've been to a high school football game.
I mean, you're right next to the Razorbacks college campus, so you should be able to catch some more college football games.
I will not go to a fucking Razorback football game if you held a goddamn gun to my head.
Come on, Cap.
Ain't no fucking
okay.
Fuck the Razorbacks football team.
Logistically, though, Eagles, Green Bay going out to Brazil on a Friday. Both of these teams are going to be so out of fucking whack that I think this might be a very low-scoring game. I might give this to Green Bay.
You remember the opening Thursday night game? It was either the 2017 or 2018 season. It was Eagles and Falcons. It was the first year Steve Sarkisian was the OC for the Falcons, and the Eagles are bad. The Falcons should have been good, but because Sarkisian was still drinking, they looked so fucking bad. I think this could be a replay of that, but I'm going Packers. I love the Packers this year. What is your pick, Matthew McConaughey?
I'm going to take Green Bay here.
All right.
It's going to be a
wait.
it's going to be a low scoring affair, but I genuinely think Green Bay takes it here.
All right. Week 2 versus the Falcons. I say they rebound and get the win here.
Yeah, they got to get the win back here. They have to.
At the Saints, another dub for the Eagles.
I've got friends that are Saints fans. I'm sorry. They're not going to be good this year.
Yeah. Week 4 at the Buccaneers.
I'm going to take Tampa here.
This is, you're taking Tampa. This is a tough one.
Time the fuck out. The Eagles have their bye week after 4 weeks.
It happens. Hey, it happens.
I don't think bye week should start until week 7 for any team.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree. I'm gonna go loss here. I just something. There's something funky about the Bucks at home in September, where they win games that they normally shouldn't, just because they get the weather.
Bakery.
Oh God damn it! Bakery my ass. Week 6, they host.
Bye week, week 5, Browns, week 6.
Yeah, bye week, week 5, week 6, the Browns. I'm going win here.
It's the same thing that I said when it came to the Browns versus the Chiefs. Can the Browns hold the Eagles' offense? If they can, Browns get the win here. And I'd be very tempted to take the Browns here.
So you're going Browns.
I'm taking Cleveland.
All right. Week 7 at the Giants. Early divisional game. Eagles are taking this one, in my opinion.
It's at MetLife. Once again, Achilles and ankles be praised. I sincerely hope nobody gets hurt. I'm going to take the Eagles here. Also, right. Saquon Barkley revenge.
Yes,
Saquon's putting up
revenge.
204 touchdowns.
Are you already looking at props for that week?
No, but I wouldn't. I may actually put that down as a bet by this point in that time that year.
Week 8 at the Bengals. I'm going L here.
I'm taking Cincy here.
All right. Week 9 versus Jags.
They are slaughtering Jacksonville. I do not have any
faith. Wait. Who's the Jags head coach? Doug Peterson. Who did Doug Peterson win a Super Bowl with?
I don't have any faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars whatsoever this year. Like not even in the slightest. Once again, this is abysmally disagree.
Oh, I am torn. You're going Eagles.
Philly puts up 40 points. The Bengals don't stand, or the Jags don't stand a chance.
I'm going Jags. I have to. I'm going Jags. Week 10 at the boys.
Refer to our last set.
Well, actually, our last set, if I remember, we had a split there.
Can you guys hit the ball? Sorry.
You had a Cowboy win. I had a Cowboy loss. So I'm going Eagles here.
And I guess I'm
Eagles are just a better team. All right. Week 11 versus the Commies. I think that's a win. That's a Thursday nighter.
I'm going to take the commies.
Ooh, Maddie is not feeling Fly Eagle Fly this year. At the Rams, loss.
I'm going to take the Eagles here.
Week 13 at the Ravens.
It's not often that you see a Raven beat the shit out of an Eagle, but it's going to happen this year.
All right. Week 14 versus Panthers. They got to win this one.
Why is the gambler at the back of my head going, do it, do it, do it?
Because the gambler at the back of your head is a psychotic lunatic.
I have to go Eagles here. If they lose to the Panthers are only getting one win this year, and it's against the Cowboys.
Finally, something sane and rational. The battle for the state of Pennsylvania. They host the Steelers.
I think Fields is going to be the quarterback by this point in time, and I think Pittsburgh gets the win.
I think Pitt gets the win as well here, too. Week 16. At the Commies. I'm going win here.
Season series, they're going to beat them here.
All right. 17. They host the Cowboys. Win.
I believe I had the Eagles winning here.
Yep. And then 18 versus Giants. Another Saquon revenge game.
Saquon already got his revenge game earlier in the season. Giants take this one.
All right, let us tabulate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins and 7 losses. Maddie has it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins for the Eagles and 9 losses. You have the Eagles.
Who wins the NFC East at this point, Raymond? I don't fucking know.
So you have both the Cowboys and the Eagles sub 500.
Who else is in that division?
The Giants and the Commies.
Dear God, who's going to make the playoffs this year? No, while we're on that, no. Washington
No.
Commanders. 2024.
God damn it. He's doing it, folks. He's doing it.
Why can't have the Commanders win the season?
He can't bring up the comedy schedule. Fucking bring it up.
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, God damn it.
We'll get to baseball here in a minute. I need to do this for myself.
Shit.
This isn't even for you people anymore at this point.
This is strictly so Maddie can sleep well tonight.
Okay.
All right, let's look here. Week 1 at the Bucks.
They're gonna beat Tampa.
Oh, God damn it. You're doing that just for your...
No, I'm not.
I'm going loss here. You're going win. Fair enough. Okay. I like Tampa at home. They're kind of like Miami in September at home. The heat, the humidity. All right. Week 2, they host the Giants. I'm giving them a win there.
I'm going to take the Giants. Something tells me Danny Dimes, Devin Singletary, they might pull it out there. So I don't know. It's a daytime game. It might happen.
Week 3 at the Bengals. And this is Monday night.
Cincy should win that.
All right. Week 4 at the Cardinals.
I'm taking Washington.
Oh
no, Washington already has 2 wins.
Actually, you know what? I still don't like Arizona that much. I'm taking the commies here. So we both have them at 2-2, just against different what have yous. All right. So let's keep our hands on our balls here. Week 5, they host Cleveland versus the Browns. All right.
Okay, these next 2 weeks are going to be hard, and I don't see them coming out with the win in either. Cleveland going into Baltimore, no.
I'm gonna give them the win versus Cleveland, but definitely the L at Baltimore.
I'm giving him 2 L's back to back.
Okay, so L and L. So week 7 is going to be Panthers.
They beat Carolina.
Yeah, I'm giving them the win there. Week 8 versus they host the Bears.
I think they beat Chicago, genuinely.
I'm going Bears here.
Washington over Chicago.
Week 9 at the Giants.
I had them lose early in the season. They beat New York here.
I have them beating New York as well. So there's double dubs. 10 versus the Steelers. I'm giving them the L. What say you, Maddie?
Pittsburgh is going to beat themselves. Washington gets the win here at home.
The old beat yourself off routine.
Yep. And
so you're going to induct the black and gold Pittsburgh into the Pullet Club here, more or less.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Week 11 at the Eagles.
4 days
loss.
Rest. 4 days rest. They get slaughtered by Philly here.
All right. Week 12. They host the Cowboys.
Refer to my earlier one.
I'm going lost here. Refer to your earlier one. You have the Cowboys winning this one.
Okay, you have the Cowboys sweeping them. I know that.
All right. Week 13, they host the Titans. That's a fucking win.
They beat the Titans.
I think everybody's going to beat the fucking Titans. God, the Titans. Did the Titans win a goddamn game this year?
We can look at their schedule next.
Okay, so we got a bye week 14, which is probably going to help them. I mean, coming this late in the year.
For this last stretch, it might.
That would be very good for them. Week 15 at the Saints.
They beat the Saints.
Saints are good in the dome, though. It is late in the year. Christ, that's it. Ugh. I'm giving this one to the Saints. You're giving this one to the Commies?
Yep.
Okay. Week 16, they host the Eagles. That's a loss.
They have done it in each of the last 3 seasons and have spoiled the Eagles at least once. I'm taking the Commies here.
All right. Week 17, they host the Falcons.
I think they get the W over the Falcons here.
Yeah, late in the year, cold weather, dome team on the road. And then finally, week 18, they wrap up.
Lost to the Cowboys.
Dallas.
Did I seriously?
What did I have here for the Cowboys?
Do I seriously have Jaden Daniels in the Commies winning the fucking division in his rookie season?
I had the Cowboys winning here. I'm gonna stick with that. You have them going into Dallas and winning, right?
No, I have them getting swept by Dallas this season.
Okay, so let's tabulate cap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 for the cap. And the Maddie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins for the commies for Maddie.
I
Putting
have
them at 10 and 7.
Because the Giants are doing that.
Giants say so. You have the commies winning the division.
I guess so.
I have it on paper. I mean, you are pick. So you've got Dallas with a losing record. You've got the Eagles with a losing record. You've got the Giants with a big ass losing record, and the commies winning the division. Though
Hey.
I will say. Well, I've got them 8 and 9. If the commies win this division, I will not be surprised because that division, Eagles could collapse, Cowboys we know are going to collapse, and the Giants are met. So if the commies were to win the division, I would not be all that surprised.
I'm throwing $5 down on the Commanders right now to win the division.
You see what happens, Raymond, whenever Matty gets on his horse of high. I'm going to save the Chiefs' schedule back. Because I put the NFC East in one little pile here. I'll save the Chiefs back because we still have to do the Broncos, Raiders, and Ravens. Hello, Seth.
Hey.
How are you, Josh?
Josh, welcome to the chat. You're towards the end. You're getting ready to jump into baseball.
Matty, you know the rules. When Josh comes in, you have to strip naked. That's just kind of the.
There goes.
He needs the whole show.
Well,
Do you have the Bret the Bret Hart pinkies on tonight?
I do. I actually got the Broncos sweats since we were going to be talking sports, but NFC East. There they are. Commanders are plus 1,000 to win the division. I'm throwing $5 down to make $50 back.
All right. Are there any other? I'm trying to think if there are any other schedules before we get to baseball that I'm just absolutely dicking balls.
We're going to be running through more of them next week with Devin. So
we'll definitely be doing Baltimore, Denver, and the Raiders.
we can do a couple more. We can do.
Well, I'm just trying to think if there's any interesting one. I want to save the Chargers for next week because if we're going to be doing, we already did the Chiefs. If we're going to do Denver and
Detroit's down as well.
Denver, Detroit, Raiders, Ravens, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, Ravens, Lions. Green Bay I'm interested in. The Rams, 49ers.
Josh should be here for be around for next week's show, so we should probably cover the Browns as well, unless you want to do that real quick.
It's already 7:30.
We should probably hop into baseball. We should hop into baseball real quick.
All right, so present baseball standings. Let me bring up my what have you here. Let's see. What the fuck?
Because he said Browns losing week 1. All right. The Yankees jumped up to first?
Yeah. Yankees have had a good run. Ray, that Cowboys Brown. I believe I picked Cowboys there.
It's gonna be a good game.
I picked the Cowboys strictly off of personnel and coaching, and I don't trust Cleveland out of the gate to beat a team that has a better coach, a better quarterback.
Do you not trust Cleveland, or do you not trust Deshaun Watson?
I don't trust Cleveland. I think I just have this.
We can't suck when we make the playoffs, Raymond.
So Yankees are up by 2 games over Baltimore. The Rays have dropped to 8 back. Boston is at 500.
Hey.
They're on a 2-game win streak. They're plus 33, 5 in their last 10. Boston. I'm not writing Boston off just yet.
No,
Devers has been smacking the shit out of the ball.
My coworker is a longtime Red Sox fan, and he said that don't pay attention to the Red Sox until about August.
Yeah, I'm not discounting the Red Sox. Just Devers is on fucking fire. The bullpen, uh, I, they're scoring runs. They're outscoring their opponents.
Devers is hitting the covers off of baseballs.
He hit 6 home runs in 6 straight fucking games.
Big boy.
Yeah, and then
reminds me a lot of David Ortiz, except he can field.
Well, that's why Ortiz was a DH.
Devers plays DH. He can also field at first base. Ortiz was only out there because they needed him to hit at first base.
That was back during the days when if they were playing a National League team on the road, they had.
I still hate. I hate the universal DH rule because I want to see pitchers swing the bat. I want to see pitchers swing the bat. God damn it!
You and Bill Lee both. American League Central. Oh Christ! I guess I got to get my comeuppance.
Hey, you guys have won 4 out of your last 10.
We have a -105 run differential, and we are 17 out of first.
That is actually
14 and 34. Although I will say, I do have to say, we have been playing better as of late.
As a whole.
As a whole, we have been playing better as of late, but it's not anything to write home about. We still
Tell Raymond why he's wrong.
Ray, the Guardians have a +61 run differential. They're 7-3 over their last 10. They are leading the division by a game and a half. Cleveland does not suck. The Guardians.
They've also got a decent bullpen to back up their stellar starting pitching.
Yes. They also have a guy that they got from the Red Sox who is in the Kansas City bullpen, John Schreiber, who he's not a strikeout guy, but he is only allowing a run to every .044 batters he faces. So only 4% of the batters he's facing are scoring. John Schreiber's been
a lot of double plays.
So, and Kansas City was my pick to take this division. They're a game and a half back. And they're right there. Look at the run differential. Same. Look at the winning streak. You picked the Guardians. Let me double check, y'all. That's the Chiefs schedule. That's the NFC East. You took. You took Cleveland. I took Detroit, and I had Kansas City coming in second.
Good to see Cleveland doing what I expected them to do.
Minnesota is 6.5 back. Detroit 7.5 back, but they are +12. We are about 2 months into the season, so teams are kind of becoming what their record says they are, to quote Bill Parcells. And we already went over the White Sox. Let's not belabor that one. The Mariners, my pick to win the division, are up 2 games on the Rangers. The Astros have started to come alive a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They were dog shit.
They were in the cellar.
The Astros have started to come alive. The Angels 7 back, and they're
Raymond. This could be an entire 2-hour video on its own for Cap.
Bottom line, we are in a beyond rebuilding year. We haven't even completely torn. We are so far into rebuilding, we haven't even torn everything down yet. That's how, this season and the off season, that's going to be when we completely tear everything down. Next year, we're going to start the rebuilding. This year, we're just kind of. Have you ever tried jerking off, but you're just not quite fully hard? Like you've got a good like you're not fully hard, but you're so horny you're just pulling what you got. That's kind of the Sox this year. We can't get fully hard, but we're not, just completely flaccid. We're jerking with what we've got, and it ain't much. It's just like like one of those, after you've had like a long night, like a long orgy where you've just blown like 3, 4, 5 loads all night, and then the next morning you're still horny, but your pud just didn't. It just ain't gonna ride, but you're still horny from all the events, and you're trying to just goose one more out. Has nobody been through this except me? Okay, let me think. Maybe put this in a context. Maybe the simp can understand. Okay, you ever been drinking a milkshake?
How about we just continue with the sports?
Yeah, why don't we try that? Yeah. Astros are coming on. Rangers are hanging in there. Angels, Athletics are finally coming down to earth, which we said they would. They had such a bad run differential. They've lost 8 of their last 10. Yeah, the Athletics have not been very good. They also lost their best pitcher, Paul Blackburn, to injury. So the Athletics are becoming the Athletics again. I'm just very much going to keep my mighty covers to myself.
For fuck's sake, Cap.
That's like Mansfield's new hashtag FFS Cap. I have this certain way of looking at the world and doing analogies and examining things based on my own personal perverted experiences that sometimes it correlates with sports and sometimes it doesn't, but it does. And sometimes you and it gets on somebody you weren't aiming at. And anyway,
on to the National
League East. Philadelphia is starting to overtake the Braves.
Speaking of, this Sunday, me and Alora are going to be live for the Colorado Rockies hosting the Philadelphia Phillies.
Have you got your raincoats ready? Because I got a feeling it's going to be pouring down.
I've got my gloves, so I'll be ready to catch
all the home runs
anything that comes flying. Yeah,
Phillies,
I'm expecting the Rockies to get shit wrecked, but if I could catch a home run ball and not give it back to anybody, yes.
Phillies, I would argue the Phillies have been maybe the best team in baseball the last month. They have been playing just rock solid. Plus 80 run differential, 8-2 of their last 10. They have a division lead over the Braves 5 games. The Braves bullpen is not that great, and they've sustained injuries to Spencer Strider, who was their stud last year. Max Fried has been coming back along, but he had a bad dust up in his last game. The Braves,
it's basically the pitching that's not holding up because their bats are still alive. Ozuna, Acuna, Olsen, Freeman, who the fuck is their third baseman? Riley.
Riley sucks.
Oh, has
I know.
Riley dropped?
I have him on my fantasy team. He's hitting 240 this year.
Well, that's depressing.
The Braves.
Oh, Yordan Alvarez hit a home run for the Astros. Tied it up 2-2.
Nationals, the rest of this division, I mean, the fact that the Nationals are better than the Mets at this point, I mean, they're basically the same team statistically, more or less, but the fact that the Mets are metting this early, I'm sure 5 Points Vids watching us as he always does every week.
Of course.
We
give him ideas for content.
We try to give everybody ideas for content.
We try our best, people.
Miami 18.5 back minus 81 run
I do have
differential.
something to bring up because I don't know how MLB schedules work out. Raymond says, is it just me or are AL teams playing NL teams a lot more often?
Yes, they are. They are.
Is there a reason for that?
The MLB is trying to get more interleague play. They're trying to limit
But
inter.
it doesn't really matter near as much now that they don't have
The universal DH is a whole new thing, but
Well, they still play their teams in their division the same amount, but they're taking out more out of division games and adding more out of conference games.
okay.
Or out of league games, however you want to put it. The National League Central, Maddie, your Brewers just won't fucking go away. Plus 37 run differential.
What do you mean, my Brewers? I expected these guys to suck after trading away the farm.
Well, I mean, you've kind of been championing them ever since. I believe you picked the Pirates. If I remember correctly. What was Maddie's?
I picked Pittsburgh.
NFC East. Where's baseball?
I know I picked Pittsburgh to win the division.
Yeah, you had Pittsburgh, Cubs, Reds, Cardinals, Brewers. I had the Brewers finishing at last as well. I had the Reds winning this division. You had Pittsburgh winning it. The Cardinals suck. The Reds are better than their record indicates. Pirates are living on borrowed time because with that run differential, you can't. They're living on the Reds have to make a run here because they're too good.
Yeah, I was about to say, how are the Reds that far down with only a -7 run differential? Is it just they're losing close games?
They're losing close games. The schedule's been bad. They've had injuries.
So their bullpen. So you're telling me their bullpen is what's fucking them?
The Reds have just kind of been snake bit this year. They haven't gotten all their shit together, and the Brewers have been. The Brewers, I swear to Christ, and I've got the Brewers starting pitcher going tonight on my fantasy team. I cannot fucking understand how the Brewers, after losing their 4 best pitchers over the course of one season in a hitter-friendly park, are still playing this well. Cap does not. I wish we had Buck available. Maybe Buck could make heads or tails of this. I might want to reach out to Buck and see if we can get him on at some point. I'd love to do a Sunday night baseball with Buck, to be honest, and pose this question to him, like, what the fuck is going on with the Brewers? Like,
well, when is the next time that his Rangers are on? Sunday night.
I'm not sure of that.
Also, who is the Sunday night game this week? As I won't be here for it.
Well, we haven't done Sunday night baseball for the last 2 weeks because we've been preempted due to other endeavors we've been doing. This Sunday,
It's been busy, baby.
Cubs and Cardinals.
Cubs Cards is usually a good series.
Well, the Cubs are just a bit behind the Brewers here. We need Buck on again. Anyway, I'll reach out to Buck tonight and see when he can come on again. Just for shit kicks and giggles.
Hell, we could even do an interview with Buck. We could probably get a 2-hour show out of that.
Oh hell, I could sit and talk baseball with Buck till sun up.
Well, not only that, he's a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame baseball writer.
We could talk for 2 hours with him and do a whole interview with him.
What's Sunday, June the 2nd? Cardinals, Phillies. Well, let me just.
Why are the Cardinals getting so many Sunday night games?
It's the goddamn Cardinals, dude. So those are. Let's see. So if it's a Sunday, it would be a 6 p.m.er. It would be on a Sunday, 6 p.m. They don't have a Sunday nighter again, at least until after the All-Star break. So we need to get Buck on for a baseball chat for like a what we could just call it, quarter of the season through baseball sit down just a quarter way through the season, sit down baseball with the Buckaroo. Because I know the Rangers are his American League team, the Reds are his National League team. So also asking him what the fuck is going on with the Reds would be another interesting thing as well. And last but not least, the National League West. Hey, wouldn't you know who won the pony, Matty? The Dodgers are leading the National League West.
They have
a plus 80
games ahead. Dude, they are 8 games ahead of the Padres.
Look at this shit. I mean, it's not even a fucking contest. They have the best run differential in baseball. They're 7-3 in their last 10. 15-31, -7. Hey, you guys are doing better than us. We're -105.
I mean, at least you don't have to play the Phillies this weekend.
I mean, the Diamondbacks don't look too damn bad.
This World Series hangover is really kind of giving them a headache.
The Giants. I drafted Logan Webb. I traded him just a week ago to Deb. Actually, I did a 1-for-1 trade with Deb for Bobby Witt Jr. because I
trade that made some people have a heart attack.
Yes. Well, Dev has the text. I would provide the text if anybody. I said, Dev, your pitching sucks. My hitting sucks. You're my friend. One for one.
For a good hitter.
I'll give you a pitcher who's leading the league in quality saves. You give me a hitter who's kicking ass. We'll just call no kickers, no fab. Just a quick, easy and done. I get something. You get something. See, here's the thing. The Padres are 500, yes. But, I mean, it's just the fucking Dodgers are so goddamn good. How? I mean, well, we know how, but shit!
We know how, but fuck.
Matty, go to your betting app. Did they have a line, a bet on how many wins the Dodgers are going to win the division by? By 20 games, by 15 games, something like that.
I can check that really quick for you.
Yeah, see if there's actually a wager out there on how many games the Dodgers will win the National League West by. Because if they have an 8-game lead on May the 21st, honest to God, if there was a wager out there to where they win the division by 15 or 20 games, I wouldn't be too opposed. I wouldn't be too opposed to betting that, to be completely honest.
Winners.
I honestly wouldn't, the way things have gone. And they're getting Walker Buehler back, who's had one start. He's coming off TJ. He's going to be getting better. They're getting Kershaw back later in the season. They're getting their 2 best pitchers back, and they're already up by 8 games.
I do understand that, but Kershaw is, as we say, weathered.
He is injury prone, but game to game, he's fucking awesome. And if they manage him well and he only pitches, say he comes back, All-Star breaks middle into July. Say if Kershaw comes back in a month and he starts 15 games, he's probably going to win 10 or 12 of them.
So I'm not finding distances, but I can tell you that FanDuel has them as a -6,000 to win the division.
Translate that to someone who's not a gambler. What does -6,000 mean?
It is the reverse of a 60-1. You get
so if I were to
throw $1 down, you would get 60 cents back.
So that means the Giants are pretty damn good.
It means that the Dodgers are going to make it.
Makes sense there.
Let's see. In terms of the entire National League winners, they have them as a plus 135.
What are their World Series odds?
Current World Series odds, as according to FanDuel, the Dodgers are a plus 280, followed by a Braves at a plus 480, Yankees at plus 550, Phillies at 850, Baltimore Orioles at 1200, and Astros at 1300.
So, Matty, to follow up on your Ayuk, he is seeking a new deal from the 49ers, a no-show at OTAs.
This holdout's going to really show how much that they care for Ayuk. And what's his news?
Kansas City wide receiver Rashee Rice is reportedly a suspect, has asked police not to file charges. The injured person in a May 6th assault at a Dallas nightclub has asked the police to not file charges. Do you think he's either a Chiefs fan or he was given some do re mi fa sol la ti do?
Oh man, you're famous. I won't sue you.
No, criminal. He's not. He's asking them to not press criminal charges.
Rashee Rice has been involved in 2 incidents over the offseason. And then we had the other 2 Chiefs that got involved in another. What is going on over in Kansas City?
It doesn't matter. They drafted the fastest. They drafted a guy faster than Tyreek Hill. You know what Andy Reid's going to do with that motherfucker.
Run until you can't breathe, kid.
Broncos' Drew Sanders suffers torn Achilles to miss most of 2024 season.
That's the safety, isn't it?
No, the Denver Broncos will have to wait to see how much linebacker Drew Sanders has improved over his rookie season in 2023 because the 3rd-round pick a year ago will now miss the 2024 season with a torn Achilles.
You don't have shit out here. Why is Taylor Swift on the Broncos main page?
Did the NFL arrange the schedule for Taylor Swift and other 2024 schedule weirdness?
Why is that part of Denver's homepage?
Because it's Tay-Tay. Nobody loves drama like the NFL. That much was apparent with the league's 24-94 schedule release to start the season. Of course, a handful of semi-attendance games. Did they arrange it for Taylor Swift? 3 NFL stadiums will host the final 9 U.S. shows of Swift's tour, rendering those venues unavailable for those days. Teams affected: Dolphins, Saints, and Colts. All are scheduled to be on the road when the Eras tour rolls into their cities. But as for the idea that the NFL scheduled the Chiefs to play at Buffalo, Missouri, a mere 111 miles from Toronto's Rogers Center, where Swift will be performing. We certainly considered the tour dates that hit NFL stadiums. Mike North, the NFL's vice president of broadcasting planning, said, I think she's in Miami, maybe New Orleans, Indy. We certainly considered those. One thing we didn't consider, I saw a lot of conspiracy theorists talking about Kansas City at Buffalo in the middle of the season, right where Taylor's playing in Toronto. That one definitely did not hit our Raiders. God damn you fucking lying sack of shit.
I hate these people.
Oh gosh.
How is our fantasy league going before we head off the air?
Do we have to?
Yes, we do.
Well, right now it is bases loaded, 3 outs, and bang and swing Casey Lilly in a joust for the top spot. The Brew Crew coming in 3rd with 80 points. The Blue Chippers, my brother Justin, at 76.5. The Glitzy Goblins, 74.5. Maddie, you have vaulted ahead of Cap.
How the fuck am I in the top 6?
You did some work on your team.
They're doing something for me.
And your team is hitting. My team ain't hitting. My team's pitching pretty well. minus our ERA and our whip, which is disastrous. So yeah, right now it's the three raw ballers right in the middle.
You gotta love
Maddie,
it.
Cap, and Dev. Then the Banjos, the Farm Leaguers, and deep shot to left by Castellanos. Quite literally.
Just
I
wait.
think he may have.
Wait, he's gonna. The deep shot to left by Castellanos is going to win the whole league.
Right now, I mean, you can see the rankings and batting. And the lower your number here, the worse you are. So I'm the worst in runs, third worst in RBIs, seventh best in strikeout ratio, worst in stolen bases, third worst in batting average, third worst in OPS, second best or third best in innings pitched, doing pretty well in strikeouts, good in quality starts, ERA and whip, fuck me running, and doing good in saves and holds. Maddie, you're pitching. I mean, you're better than me in ERA and whip, and much better than me in batting.
I just got to keep it going, and by I mean they do.
Well, you did like some kind of a big over-ass haul or overhaul ass or ass overhaul or whatever you did with.
I might do some more adjustments. Keep it up.
You did some ass haul overs of your team a few weeks ago, and it has really helped you because ever since you did that, I've been going down as you've been going up. So as you've been going down on the cap, wait a minute.
What?
Wait. Disregard previous transmission. You've been you were going down on me. I was going up on you. Never mind. You're ahead of me. It's tonight. I've got my bats going. I'm batting 280 with a 907 OPS. I've got the Brewers pitcher who gave up 4 earned runs in 6 innings, 10 hits, no strikeouts in 6 innings pitched. Thank you for nothing, Robert Gasser. How is Maddie doing tonight?
You would think with the last name like Gasser, he'd be throwing, gas.
Tonight, your team is batting 208 with a 644 OPS, but you got a quality start out of Garrett Crochet, who pitches for the goddamn White Sox.
Yeah, baby.
And John Gray for the Texans gave you 5 innings with only 2 earned runs. So,
it looked pretty, doesn't it?
literally, I'm just going to be sucking my thumb. That's how bad. If I were more bendable, I'd be sucking other things. But, Anywho, Maddie, anything before we sign off here? We've been a little bit overtime. No Greg Cherry tomorrow.
No Greg Cherry tomorrow. We're probably going to try to run something with Crew Day, me, Shug, and Remy.
King of the Ring is Saturday.
Yeah, King and Queen of the Ring is Saturday.
That starts at 11:30 my time, 10:30 your time. Let me double check here.
I know I'm going to be at work until like 1 p.m., so I might miss the show as a whole.
Let's see. So it starts. Actually, no, it starts at 1 Eastern. So that would be noon my time, 11 your
time. So I'll miss the first half of the show. And then Sunday I know is double or nothing, and me and Delora and my work crew are going to be at the Rockies-Phillies game. And it's Memorial Day weekend. So you guys enjoy the 3-day weekend for most of you.
4-day for me.
Yeah, 4-day for you.
I'm off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
I work the weekends, so I don't get those days off. But to everybody else, thank you all for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Don't get arrested. Don't get pulled over in the state of Kansas.
Work like the devil, sleep like a baby, eat like a king. The other 2 commandments, they'll be coming soon enough. I-Ching.
And we will see you all next time on the RAWBall podcast. Ball out with the RAWBall podcast.
And my buds are dead.
Money.